We discussed what the responsibility of the garment industry, fashion industry, and I thank them for helping us in Bangladesh, building our economy of the garment industry. And at the same time, this is a great bridge between the fashion and the poor women, because most of the workers in fashion industry are women. 80% of the workers are women, mostly poor women. I said this is a great opportunity to help them lift themselves out of poverty, and that's what I focus on.
Dr. Yunus, what is sustainable profitability?
Well, as you make a business, as I was pointing out, business should not be all about profit. It should be kind of widened about profit, people, and the planet. You look at it so that's a sustainable profitability.
But can a business have profits as such and also be sensitive to the concerns of society and the environment?
Precisely, because otherwise sooner or later we'll be facing a big crisis. Either you are ignoring the people or you're ignoring the planet, then big crisis come. That's not a sustainable thing. And in the people side, the disparity among income of the people, and for example, garment workers who are working in the garment factories often accused that they're using women in these countries as a slave labor, which is not a good thing to have. If we are having a fashion industry, we should give them a good life, ensure minimum wage for them.
Sir, where do ethical business practices start? Do they start in the boardroom with enlightened dialogue, or is it a groundswell of protest from people in the streets?
All of the above. It's not one-handed thing. There must be people, and the board members must be in dialogue all the time. The board members may miss out some points which public can point out, and since some of the crises happen, people in general, the consumers, they protested on the street that we don't want to wear this kind of shirt which is exploiting poor people, and that's a good message. And the board members recognize that this is not a good thing to do. They came forward with their solutions.
What's the role of social media in this? Has social media empowered workers to speak out in a way perhaps they wouldn't have before?
Social media is very empowering for everybody. Common citizen, the clients, the consumers, the workers, so that we know that we don't have to go to a particular channel of media that we are blocked out of from. This is at our disposal. We can talk to each other, build our own network of people. So it's a great opportunity for people to voice their grievances, voice their demands.
Dr. Yunus, are businesses paying enough attention to what happens in the supply chain? Do cheap clothes, cheap retail, does that necessarily equate to people being taken advantage of?
Cheap is good, people need it, but cheap doesn't mean you squeeze out from other people. That's not good cheap. It's not sustainable cheapness. It's ensure the quality of the life of the poor people so that they are working. Why should they be slave labor today in this day and age? Why should anybody, in the name of cheapness, be wearing a cloth which has been exploiting some other women someplace? So people are conscious about that. So now the cheapness has to be defined, ensuring those things, ensuring the people side of it, no exploitation, ensuring the climate side of it,
right.
No carbon emission in the sense that the whole planet will fall apart, and then become the cheapness. Otherwise, if you compromise on all those things, that cheapness is not something that we can support.
Sir, you're now a member of academia, as you alluded to. Given the high cost of a college education at this point here in the United States, student debt is skyrocketing. Is it wise for students and their families to take on the burden of debt that comes with getting a diploma, getting a degree, or would it be better if they just took their chances and tried to become entrepreneurs, tried to start a business?
I'm glad you asked that question, because one of the things I've said, our education system is wrongly designed in the sense they are producing workers. They're working people to work for somebody. Human beings are basically entrepreneurs. They're go-getters. When you design something in the education as a thinking process to let people be workers, you create unemployment. Because employment was the only thing in your book, so you couldn't get the employment, so you're unemployed. Why should a full-blooded human being be unemployed? He's a go-getter, he can get things. So our education system should be focusing on the entrepreneurship, how to make them happen, that they can create things. Human being is a creative person, and be a creative person. So I tell tell the young people, you must believe that we are not job seekers, we are job creators. That should be our system. And that's why the question of unemployment doesn't exist anymore. If I'm an entrepreneur, it's my job to find a way to create job for other things. So that should be the focus of things. And as long as we remain job-oriented education, we'll be creating unemployment, lots of them.